To Mrlubufu here with more Magic the Gathering 2013 M13 core set spoilers. Wow, that sounded interesting. Yeah, we got plenty of spoilers. Some more have been released. A couple of silly cards. One of them I find hysterical that I want to play with. Not really, a little bit. But let's just go ahead and look through. And then I have little. There are rumors going around about a specific card, so I'll mention it. So, most of these are commons, uncommons. We actually have a reprint of Angel's Mercy. Yes, it was in Absent Restored, and yes, it will be in M13. This one, I don't see why they reprinted it. I mean, it's not even good for a limited. It's 14th or 15th pick in every Absent Restored draft. Yeah, that one's a horrible card. Next you have a reprint of Divine Favor. So it's your good old 2 mana, and when it enters the battlefield you gain 3 life, and enchanted creature gets +1/+3. It wasn't as good as Demonic Favor. I mean, it saw some play just sticking it on a hexproof guy, but otherwise, eh. We now also have Divine Verdict. So 4 mana to destroy target attacking or blocking creature. So a somewhat decent removal spell. I mean, it's not insane, but it's definitely something that if you see your opponent, have 6 cards in their hand and cast 1 creature by turn 4 and they leave up 4 mana, definitely something to be wary about. Limited, of course. In Standard, it's not going to see any play. Next we have Healer of the Pride. It's a 4 mana 2/3. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 2 life. I mean, I bet you there's going to be a good casual life gain deck. This plus like Lingering Souls and black-white Lifelinkers with Sorin and that sort of thing seems interesting. Maybe, blue for the Drog Skull Reaver. Seems like a fun little casual deck to build. Otherwise, nothing out of the ordinary. It's good with Lingering Souls as well. Next, you have Pillarfield Ox. It's a 2/4 for 4. I think I might have mentioned it, but we'll just move on. And the reprint that I am most happy to see is Serra Angel. For those of you that don't know, I collect them. I actually, at last count, I have 187? Something along those lines. I haven't counted. I don't have it in front of me, but good to see another core set with Serra Angel, another high pick, and another set for me to collect. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to go on a little tangent here. Turns out that the white background that they use between M11 and M12 turns slightly darker. I can tell because I've looked at so many M11 and M12 Serra Angels, and you hold, I've studied them for a while, and it turns out the M11 ones are the white color for the background is brighter, and the blues in the art of the Serra Angel are also more vibrant. In the M12 ones, it's slightly darker. You have more of you could see the darker shades of the blue. Okay, anyway, I'm moving on. I got distracted by Serra Angels. We also have Silvercoat Lion. 2/2 for 2. Classic. And here we have a Warclamp Mastiff. It's a 1/1 first strike for 1, which is not very good in limited or constructed. Generally, 1/1s for 1 are not anything too extraordinary. Especially since there's a lot of X2s in this format from what I see. In blue, we have the reprint of Kraken Hatchling. I think this one's going to be okay in limited, but not played in constructed, just because there's too many flyers. Between Lingering Souls, Delver, Geist of Saint Traft, which this guy can block, but can't block the Angel token. It doesn't seem, great. Next we have one of my favorite cards to cast in a core set limited, and that would be Sleep. So simple, so beautiful. Anytime you cast it, you must yell out nap time as a tribute to Vito Gesualdi of draftmagic.com, but otherwise it's fun. We have another rare spoiled. It's a fun little reprint of Stormtide Leviathan. It's an 8 mana, 8/8 island walk. All lands are islands, and creatures without flying or island walk can't attack. Fun big guy to cast. It's pretty interesting. Next we have Switcheroo, which is another like M13 for core set names between Murder and Switcheroo. Great names. Switcheroo is a sorcery. Exchange control of 2 target creatures. I like it. I'm not sure how, like, I mean, I'm not sure how good it is compared to Mind Control. I mean, I want to say it's pretty good already, just because you can swap some cheap 1-drop or something that's not very good and just get control of something huge. It would be interesting. Next we have Unsummon reprinted. Vapor Snag's going out, and they wanted their 1 mana blue bounce spell. I was really hoping they would not print this, just so that way Delver would get weaker after rotation. But they printed Unsummon, and Delver's gonna be around, or at least have their tempo spell. So it's a little bit sad. Next you have Veldalkin Entrancer. It's a 4 mana Horn Turtle for 1/4. It's blue and a tap. Target player puts top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Yeah, no, this is not a good card for mill or anything really. I mean, you have if you're thinking of a constructed mill deck, Stern Mentor is already better, and if you're thinking for limited, generally you need something else in order to make it good, like Jace Memory Adept. But then Jace Memory Adept wins the game. Like Jace Vista wins the game without too much help. We have Water Course. It's a 3 mana 2/3 that you can give it +1/-1 till end of turn. I think it's gonna be okay because of the 3 toughness, but otherwise, I'm not that impressed. We also have Windrake, 3 mana 2/2 flyer. Simple, classic. It's gonna be okay, I think. Limited again. I mostly stick with limited. Now in black we have a reprint of Giant Scorpion. It's a 3 mana 1/3 Death Touch. Definitely a good defensive creature. Sits back and it's not horrible. And we have the reprint of Mind Rot. So 3 mana, target player discards 2 cards. I hate having this played against me because people always play it correctly. People I play against always play it correctly when they hold it until I have exactly 2 cards in hand, and then it's just so frustrating. We also have the reprint of why they reprinted Walking Corpse. It's in Innistrad block. We get it. I know it's for limited purposes, like that's basically what it's for, but they couldn't do anything else apparently. So I've noticed that this core set in particular has more reprints from the previous block than anyone I've seen in ever. I might be wrong, but there's way too many reprints from Innistrad block in my opinion. In red, we have another fun named card called Cleaver Riot. 5 mana sorcery. Creatures you control gain double strike till end of turn. I think it's okay. I mean, it's not quite as good as Overrun, but it certainly is big game if you cast it. It certainly compares with Plague Wind. Otherwise they die. So it's certainly something to keep in mind. We also have the goblins. We had Krenko Mob Boss spoiled recently. Now we have some goblins that get printed or revealed. We have Goblin Arsonist. It's a 1/1 for 1 that when it dies deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So a reprint from M12 and Rise. We have Goblin Battle Jester. It's a 4 mana 2/2 that whenever you cast a red spell, target creature can't block this turn. I think it's okay. It depends how aggressive you're going, but certainly not constructed playable in my opinion. Next we have Kindled Fury. It's a 1 mana instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 and first strike. I think it's going to be maybe a 23rd or definitely a 23rd card in your aggressive red deck, but nothing more than that. We also have Wild Guess. Sorry, that's not the one I was saying. Wild Guess is a 2-mana sorcery. As an additional cost, discard a card, then draw 2 cards. Let me say this. This is not card advantage. You are playing the Wild Guess as counts as 1 card, and then discarding that's 2 in order to draw 2 cards. So unless there's like Madness cards you're trying to abuse, which Madness is not in standard right now, or you have, you know, like Chandra's Phoenix while it's still, you know, valid in the M12 M13 overlap between Innistrad block and Return to Ravnica block. But this is not very good. And onto the card that I saw it and I started laughing. Worldfire. 9 mana. Exile all permanents, exile all cards from all hands and all graveyards. Each player's life total becomes 1. I saw it and I just started laughing. I do wonder whether or not this card will be banned in EDH. Because it's not standard playable, by the way. Not for 9 mana. Like, it's just not worth it. But in EDH, I worry about it because, like, for example, I can just see, you know, suspend Riftbolt, cast Worldfire. Right? That would be brutal. You can just build a deck, like, it'd be silly. It kind of makes me want to do it, but nah. It's certainly a big stupid mythic money-wise. Like, it's not going to be a chase or anything, so this is the bad mythic of the set, because it's just big and expensive and does a flashy effect, but nothing more than that. In green, let's see, what have we got? We've got Bountiful Harvest. I think that one came out already. It's a 5 mana, gain 1 life. Yeah, I talked about it. We have the Reprint of Deadly Recluse. 2 mana, 1/2 reach Death Touch. It's okay. I mean, I like it in limited quite a bit. Standard, I think you'd want to play this against the Delver decks, and Delver decks will just probably bounce it. So nothing extraordinary. We have another Mythic spoiled, which is this. I clicked it. Oh well. Elder Scale Wurm. It's a 7 mana, 7/7 trample. When it enters the battlefield, if your life total is less than 7, your life total becomes 7. And as long as you have 7 or more life, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 7 reduces it to 7 instead. I mean, it's an okay 7-drop. One of the reasons I'm so skeptical, I mean, in limited you slam this and I don't think you can lose. One of the reasons I'm skeptical about this card is because of Zealous Conscripts. If they cast Zealous Conscripts, you're definitely dead. And it says, you know, damage that would reduce your life total. So I need to double check to make sure I'm right or not. But loss of life, like, I need to double check on that. Either way, it's a big 7/7 trample for 7, and it's, you know, it's not mediocre. I like it, but it's not Primeval Titan good, but Primeval Titan's really good. We also have the reprint of Fog. Green, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt. So those of you building green-blue Turbo Fog, you have Fog. This is a reprint, or a problem right there. It's not 1 blue, it's 1 green. Let's see. We also have reprint of Vastwood Gorger. It's a 5/6 for 6, which is not atrocious. I mean, it's okay. Like, you cast in this format. I would argue that if you have the chance, it'd be easier to cast Duskdale Wurm than Vastwood Gorger, but it's also not horrible. And I'm pretty sure that's it for actual spoiled cards, but the person who posted all this has provided photos for a good deal of them, and when he first posted this, there was this hint he wrote, which was like, they're also reprinting a really good green common, and he put 6 letters and a couple of them had R's, and right now the rumor going around is they reprint Rancor, which, oh my god, I want to play with Rancor so bad, because it is one of my favorite cards to cast, because it gives me the excuse to slam it and scream, Rancor! It's beautiful. Also with Exalted, it's gonna be great. I already have, like, if that's in if that's reprinted, I already have a deck built up. It'd be so much fun to play. Ugh. Yeah, green by far looks like it's one of the stronger colors in this with what's been printed in M13. Red's kind of gotten screwed, to be like, the red hasn't gotten anything really good yet. I'm hoping, but green's gotten, you know, apart from Arbor Elf and some more ramp and Beast Tracker, it also has just more hexproof guys. It just really seems like it's really strong. So green mages, congratulations. Oh, and Yeva. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think.